Hello. Okay, guys, we are live. Okay, somebody said the description shows schedule for 3 February 2023 JavaScript projects, and today is 2 February. Actually, I got confused yesterday, but yeah, it is what it is. We had a session on 1st February for the part one of this project, building a typing speed game using JavaScript. By the way, in the title, they have written part one, but it's actually part two of this video, current video, which is live. Okay, so we are in the part two of this video, and part one is actually available on the same channel at Geeks for Geeks Development, and you can check the previous live stream for part one. Okay, so I'll change the description later on, so it must be part two, by the way. So we are in the part two of this video, and part one was solely focused on the UI part. Okay, so now we are on part two, and as you can see that the simple game is completed, and we are actually going to create the JavaScript part. Okay, so let's test the game first. This will be completed today, by the way. This is not the this is the final source code which you are going to get today. But yeah, let me just show you how it works. So suppose the game starts like this. Okay, if you refresh your page, you will get some another text and so on. Okay, so suppose if I start typing, so if I start typing JUPITR. So as you can see that the uh, game is working. So suppose instead of F, I can type D. So you can see that I got an error. Okay, so this is a very great logic which I have applied, and obviously some formulas are also used for the WPM, CPM, and so on. Okay, so I'll explain the formulas. They are very basic formulas, and you can search the internet, you will get the formulas also. Okay, by the way, I took this formula from ChatGPT because I'm not that much great in mathematics sometimes. So yeah, this is the game, and if I click restart, and also I'm not good at typing, by the way. It's been years. I started development like 2 years, but still I am not a fast typer. Anyways, it doesn't matter, and what matters is your code. So yeah, I can code, that's enough. So you can see that this game is working pretty fine, and you can see that on restart it will reset the game. Okay, so we are going to apply this logic using JavaScript, and on part one we created the simple UI. Now we are going to apply the formulas which will manipulate this, and also the JavaScript part to show the paragraph and write on that. Okay, so now let's jump to the source code. uh, Hi everyone. Yes. So let's jump towards the source code. And by the way, before continuing, I wanted to show you one more thing. In the description, you'll find a link named as Project Building Sessions coming up. Register to our full stack bootcamp course for free. So this is a free bootcamp course, and you'll find the link after that. So just enroll for this one. Why am I telling you this? Because in this course, you can see that we have plenty of stuff for full stack development. And in the live section, you can see on 4th February, we have scheduled part one of text to speech converter project using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is a very great project for someone who is trying to implement speech integration in their website or any project. Okay, so this is a very great project, and we'll do this. Okay, so you can see that we have a 4th February. We have a session on 4th February, 8 p.m. onwards. That is tomorrow. Today is 3 February. So on 4th February, part one is available, and you'll get the joining link here instead of this upcoming button at the same time. And once you enroll for this course, you will also be notified via your mails. Okay, so you don't need to check it again and again. You'll also be notified via your mails, or you can check if you don't receive notification. Sometimes it happens. If you aren't able to watch these sessions on the live timing, you can simply check the recordings. The recordings are also available here. You can watch them, and yeah, they are very great projects for beginners, and some are also for intermediate and advanced. Okay, so you can check out these projects, and more projects are also being uploaded here. With time, I'll upload more projects and me with other mentors. So you can check out this course. This is absolutely free course. And also, if you want advanced content related to web development, you can check out the other courses provided by Geeks for Geeks. You can see that, yeah, they have some pricing, but definitely they are worth it if you want to go advanced and beyond that. Okay, you can check out these projects. They are very great. These are basically courses, and I've been watching few of them from a very long time, so they are very great. Okay, right now we are on this free one, by the way, not this one. Uh, okay, so now I guess we can continue. And all right. Yeah, this one. Right now we are on this one. I was not able to see this course, so you can see that right now we are on this one, and you'll get the uh, link for this course. Okay, so do check these out, and definitely they'll help you to become a more pro version of your current version. Okay, so this is it, and I wanted to show you one more thing. Please visit my GitHub profile. This is my GitHub profile, github.com/virajj014. You'll find the source code here only. So you can check out the my profile. Just type github.com/virajj014. Okay, that's it. And here you'll get the repositories. Okay, so we have the JS underscore typing speed game repository. This is the part one. Okay, the part one source code is available, but today is part two project, and we are going to upload it as soon we end this project today. Okay, so that's it for the basics, and now we are going to jump towards the code. And I don't know, I am not able to see the chats today, or there aren't any much chats. Let it be, we'll see that. So first of all, I'll open my VS Code. So here it is. Here it is. So you can see that we have written the basic CSS part and the HTML part, and we have written a sample paragraph, but this won't be the paragraph which we are going to use. This was just for UI demonstration, and we'll manipulate the paragraph using JavaScript every time we check it. Okay, so now I can start my previous project in live server. So I can do one more thing. I can just simply start it with live server. Okay, so it will open up in browser, and as you can see, this was the basic project which we created. Okay, so right now I'll say that this selection part wasn't much useful, so I'll remove that. It's not much useful. So what I can say is, let me just split screen. Okay, split my screen. And okay, sometimes it's very annoying in Windows 11 also, splitting the screens, but okay, it will work. And I hope you are able to see this project, able to see the source code. So let me just increase the font size also. Okay, now I hope everyone is able to see that. And let me just remove this. Okay, I'll just remove this. For now, I'll just remove half of it. And this is a very small paragraph. And I wanted to target the PG tag. I wanted to target the PG tag. So what I can do, I can simply say that we have the PG tag, and I don't want the selection part right now. Okay, we will do something else. And in the background color, I have given background color is somewhat gray. This will work. And what I want is, I'll say that the word break will be break all. Okay, and then one more thing is required. I'll say that text, yeah, you can also give some letter spacing between each letters. Okay, so we have given some letter spacing, you can give that. It looks so it makes it easier for the player to play this. Okay, and I can say that it will be justify. Okay, so it will take the whole space evenly. Okay, so now that's it for the PG. And now I'll jump back to the, I guess the container in was fine, and rest other CSS was also okay. Okay, so in the result, I have given justify content space between. So I'll just make it space between, or let it be, let it be. This was looking better. Okay, so I guess this was much for the result part, and yeah, I can see that it's pretty much fine. And we have also given it some stylings. As you can see, this was the basic stylings which we have given yesterday. So this was very basic. We have given text 1, text 2, divisions, and so on. Okay, and as you can see, we have these classes txt2, txt2. Okay, so you can give them like this only. All right, so this was it, and now I would say that now we can jump towards the JavaScript part. I don't think we need to add more changes to it. Obviously, a few more CSS elements must be added, but right now it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So yes. Okay. So now I would say that let's create the script tag. Let's create the script tag, and now we are going to target the first. First of all, we are going to target the paragraph. Okay, for that, I'll write my paragraphs. So, paragraph, you can actually create an array of paragraphs to actually change the paragraphs every time you start playing the game. Okay, this will get you a new paragraph every time. Okay, so I don't know whether we have an API for this. That's why I am creating an array. But instead of this, you can use an API if you like that. Okay, so I have an array of 10 paragraphs. Like they will be like the first paragraph is this one, the first paragraph is this one. I'll actually paste only 5 of them. Okay, 5 of them will work. So you can see that I have copied a paragraph from various resources. Actually, I used chat GPT for this one also. This generated me paragraph. So yeah, sometimes these AI tools really help a lot, saves a lot of time. Else I would have to search paragraphs and so on. Okay, so you can see that this is something related to space technology. So I can see that we have 5 paragraphs. Okay, you can see 5 paragraphs and they are in the form of array. Just make sure that you are giving double inverted commas or single inverted commas, and your paragraph doesn't contain any single or double inverted commas in between. Or if it has, then you can use backticks also. Okay, you can use backtick sign also. It will also work. Okay, it will also work. But yeah, since I don't have any double inverted commas in between the paragraphs, so I can use it in the left or right side. Okay, so now I can see that we have a paragraph. We can target these paragraphs as soon as we start our game. Okay, so first of all, we'll target our elements. So as you can see that the paragraph has an ID of PG. Okay, and I'll remove this default one. Default one will be removed. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So now I would say that we have the paragraphs. We need to target this paragraph ID. Okay, so I would say that first of all I want to write const PG. Okay, I'll name this as PG only, and I'll target this by ID PG. Okay, this is the ID of my PG P tag which has ID paragraph PG. Okay, inside this we'll have the paragraph written manually by JavaScript. Okay, by JavaScript. Okay, so you can see that we have another constant. I'll target the user input also. So as you can see that I have made the opacity of this input field as 0. That's why we weren't able to see that. The logic is simply that as soon as I type, the color changes. Okay, the color changes. If I have typed the correct character, like if A must be written, then A will be correct. Okay. If suppose I have written B instead of A, then we'll get an error or mistake underline and so on. Okay, so we'll see that. But yeah, we have to target this input. Whatever we input will be taken here. Okay, so document dot query selector, and we have given this, I guess, a class of text input. As you can see, we have given this a class of text input, so you can target the. Okay, so after this, we'll target the reset button. We have this reset button. So instead of this, I'll make it reset. Okay, I'll make it reset. So this will work for all cases, start, reset, etc., etc. Okay, the game will automatically start as soon as we start typing. I'll show you that. But yeah, you can target the button with this. And yes, I'll say that since we have only one button inside this container in class, so I would say that const reset btn equals, and I'll say that target the button inside what? Target the button inside container container in button. Okay, so we have targeted this button, and also we need to target what? We need to target total time, total mistake, total WPM, total CPM, all these four. Okay, so I would say that we have the four fields. Const total time. Total time is equals, inside the time class. You can see inside the time class we have txt2. Okay, we have txt2 to show the readings. Okay, that's very important. This txt1 is not important for all. We only need txt2 of each. Okay, so inside time we have txt2. So I would say inside time we need txt2 class. Again, for WPM we need the same, and again I'll make it total WPM. Okay, and this will be basically shown in the page. That's why I'm writing it as total mistake and total CPM. Okay, we have targeted all of them. By the way, this suggestion is also coming from this GitHub Copilot extension. This is basically helps me to save a lot of time in live streams. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I am seeing the live chat in a delayed manner. That's why uh, sometimes it is difficult to reply on time. So don't be angry with me. All right. So now we have created a few variables, and after this, I want to create a timer. Okay. So suppose I'll create a variable named as timer because this will be global. Okay. We'll call this variable in every function. Then we need the max time. Max time is, suppose I will choose 120 seconds. So here I can write 120 seconds or 60 seconds or any amount of seconds you can write. And I'll say let time remaining equals max time. Right now, initially the remaining time will be 120, then it will be 119, then it will be 118, and so on. Okay, so we'll target that using a function which will change time, remaining time, and the CPM, WPM mistakes, etc. Okay, so we have the time remaining, initial time remaining, and then I would say that I will target the particular character index. Okay, so it will be 0 right now. Initially we'll start from 0th index of the paragraph. I'll tell you the reason. So we have the 0th index for this, and we have 0 mistakes initially, and we have a variable named as is typing. Okay, so is typing is simply referred to as whenever we are typing, whenever we start typing, this will become true and the game will start. That's it. So we'll use this variable right after this. Okay, so we have created the required amount of variables. Now we need to tackle the paragraph. So first paragraph will be const set, and I'll name as set paragraph because initially we have to set a paragraph. Okay, initially we have to set this paragraph. So I'll just create this function. Okay, again we'll say that create another one, const start typing. Okay, start typing, and this will be another function, and the other function will be start timer. Okay, start typing and then start timer, which will be called whenever we start typing. Okay, so I'll say start timer. Okay, so this function will also be required. Then we need the final function, const reset game. Okay, so this will basically reset the game. Okay, so that's it. And as soon as the game starts, we want to initially show the paragraph. So I'll say that show the paragraph. This will be the set paragraph function. Okay, this set paragraph function will be called as soon as the game starts. Okay, that's it. And then I'll go back and I'll say that choose any random index, choose any random paragraph from this paragraph array. Okay, paragraphs array. So I would say that suppose I'll create a variable named as const rand index. Okay, random index. And then I would say choose a random paragraph. For that, I'll say math.floor. Why am I writing math.floor? I'll tell you. First of all, just watch inside this. I'll choose a random number. I'll choose a random number. Okay, it will automatically give me a random number, and I'll also multiply it with the of length of this paragraphs paragraphs array dot length. Okay, so suppose the length of this array is anything, like the suppose the length of this paragraphs array is 5. Okay, the length of this is 5. So this will actually return any number between I can say the length is 5, so it will return anything between 0 to 5. Okay, so it will return anything 0 to 5, and the floor is basically for manipulating the decimals. Okay, so it will make the normal number, make a normal number out of decimals. It will remove the decimals. Okay, so we'll get any number between 0 to 5 inside this random index variable. After this, initially I won't be showing any paragraphs. So if there is any existing paragraph inside the HTML of our paragraph on the page, I'll make it as blank. Okay, so initially there won't be any HTML. Whenever I call this function, it will actually remove any existing written paragraph. Okay, so it will remove anything I have written on that before. After this, I'll say that paragraphs, and I'll target that index which I have written, which I have called. Okay, so suppose it is targeting the this index, that means the first index. Okay, it is targeting the first index. Now if it has the first index, it has targeted the first index. Now we are in the first index. Now we are going to target each word each word into alphabets. So for that, I will say that it is basically splitted into alphabets, array of alphabets. Okay, so this will actually have, suppose we are targeting this, so it will have an array which has T, first element, second element is H, third element is E, fourth element is space, fifth element is E, and so on. Okay, that's it. That's the simple logic which we are going to use. And now we have, since we have splitted each of them, they have to be stored. Okay, they have to be stored. So I would say that for each now we'll target them as character, T as character, H as character, and so on. So we are targeting all the alphabets one by one from the array. So we have the array. Now we want to show this. So suppose if I write console.log character, okay, suppose I write this, and let's see that if it works or not. So if I inspect this and the console, you can see paragraphs is not defined. What's not defined? Paragraphs. Okay, I have written a wrong spelling. Now let's see. Paragraph. Okay, again, yeah, we have everything. Now you can see this function this set paragraph function will be called initially, and as you can see, it has targeted any random paragraph from paragraphs array, and it has given us all the alphabets with the spaces as the multiple values present inside the array. Okay, so this is our array, this will be our array, and it will be split into multiple alphabets. They are multiple alphabets, and I have printed them. Okay, so since now we have multiple alphabets, now I would say that show them in my page. Okay, so I'll say suppose let I'll write each one in a separate span. Okay, so this will be our span, and then I would say this will be suppose if I say, I can simply say pg dot inner html, pg dot inner html plus equals. Okay, I'll add on all the alphabets into our page. Okay, so for that, I'll write a span tag, because span tag only takes the required amount of space. It won't take the extra space which is similar to p tag. Okay, so p tags takes extra amount of space. That's why I'm writing it in a span. And then I would write character. Okay, so all the characters now will be shown in the page. As you can see, now they are shown in a page. So if I refresh this, you can see I got another paragraph. So this is going to refresh every time this random index changes. That means the set paragraph function is called. Okay, so now our basic this is created, and then I would say that my first, I have to target the first one. And if user types T, then user has typed correct alphabet. Okay, user has typed correct alphabet. If user has typed U, okay, user has typed wrong alphabet. Okay, so now we have to target, first of all, initially we have to target the zeroth index of this array. Okay, this array which we have created, we have to target the zeroth index also. Okay, so I would say that it will select all the spans, of the whatever the paragraph is, and we will target the first span. Okay, we'll simply target the first span. Now for this I would say, just come out of this, and now I would say pg dot query query selector all. Inside this I'll target all the spans inside the paragraph. That means all the alphabets which we have created. Okay, we have stored inside this paragraph. As you can see, they are inside this paragraph. Now since we have targeted them, after this I would say that we want the first one. That is, right now I'm talking about M, Mars M. Okay, I'm talking about M. And if I refresh this, it's about T. Okay, it will target T. And if I refresh this, it will target T. Okay, if I refresh this, it will target T. Okay, and so on. That means the first alphabet of any paragraph will be targeted here. Okay, now after this, since we have targeted this, I'll add a class list named as active. So I'll add a class list named as active, active. Okay, we'll add a class list named as active, and we haven't added in CSS. So what I can do is I can add this in CSS also. For that, I'll say that if it's active, then I would say inside the pg we have a span which we have created. Okay, if it is active, then I would say its position will be absolute. Okay, first of all, its position is absolute, and you can see something happened here. Okay, it happened because of this it became the absolute position. Okay, and then you can see, since M is active, it's in absolute position, and then after this A is written before it, R is written, and so on. So let's make it before. Okay, so for that I'll say before, before, so it won't actually disturb our paragraph. Okay, so we target the before part, and we actually want an indicator to show that it is active. Okay, so for that I have given position absolute first of all, and suppose the content is nothing for this. Okay, and the height is, you can give any height. Suppose the height is 2 pixels or 3 pixel, you can give any height. And suppose the background color is this black. Okay, so right now I'm not able to see that, and first of all I'll say that make it some other color. Okay, since we have this pink. Okay, so I'll target this pink, so I'll say this pink will be as an indicator. Okay, so we'll have an indicator. After this I'll say that the width will be 100% of the span. Okay, whatever the span is having, it will take the 100%. That means the whole space. Okay, so now after this I would say that I'll also make its position relative. Okay, I'll also make its position relative because it will simply take the amount of space taken by the span. The before will simply take the amount of space taken by the span. As you can see that, yeah, it's good. Now after this, I would say it must be in the bottom. The indicator must be in the bottom. Okay, so the indicator is in bottom, and we got the indicator. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, we got the indicator. Now we want it to blink. So for that, I can say that it must have an animation. And one more thing, I'll say that suppose the left is 0. Okay, left is 0, and you can also do one more thing. Suppose if I make it 10, you can see that it became a box. Okay, so you can simply give it some height of around, suppose if I give it 15. Okay, you can see that it took some space, and you can just give it a height, and after this you can say that the background color, or you can say the opacity will be 0.5. So you can see that the T is lightly visible. Okay, so you can simply use this logic, and if I increase it, you can see that it's pretty much fine. And I'll also add a few more things, like suppose if it's active, then I would say that make it less visible. Okay, make it more lesser visible and more less visible. and you can see that it is very light. It is very light. So you can simply use this, and I can also give it a border of 1 pixel solid color. Okay, some small solid color, but it won't make any difference because I have given some opacity. That's why. So let it be with the border. Now I want to, what I want to do is, you can see that it's looking nice, but I want an animation. Okay, so animation will be, suppose I'll make a blink animation. Okay, I'll choose a blink animation of 1 second, and it will run from infinite, and I'll say that it will be ease dash in dash out OUT. Okay, EASE. Right now, I'm not able to see that. Why am I not able to see? Okay, let's see that if we can make it normal one or not. Okay, so suppose if I remove the opacity, and right now I'm not able to see the blink animation because I haven't declared it. I'm sorry, I haven't declared the blink animation. So let's go back first. Okay, now I'll add the blink animation. So for that, you can create any animation anywhere you like. So for that, you can say keyframes. You can write keyframes for AMES. So this is simply way to you for which you can create your custom animation. So you can create any of your animations like this. So blink animation, and then I would say when it reaches 50%, 50%, its opacity will become 1, and else its opacity will be something like this. You can see that some initially its opacity will be this. Okay, so you can make it 0. Initially it will be 0. When it reaches 50%, it will become 1, then it will again become 0. Okay, so one more thing, I can say that I'll make its re-index as -1. If I make it -1, it's not visible. So let it be. I only wanted this much. Okay, you can see I have this much. One more thing, if I make it white, let's make it more visible. I'm not liking this. So I can say that the border is 1 pixel solid, and this color. Okay, this color will be chosen as a border. So you can see I got a border. Okay, I got a border, and you can manipulate it. Okay, any kind of manipulation will work, but let's now make it normal. Okay, I guess this will be better. Okay, this is pretty much fine, and you got the animation. Okay, so after this, I would say that, yeah, since we have the active one, you can see that it is the active one. Okay, suppose if I make the active as you can see that I have the zeroth index. Suppose if I make the index as 5. Okay, so you can see it has targeted the fifth index. Okay, it has targeted the fifth index, and so on. Okay, but initially I wanted to be zeroth because I have set paragraph initially. Okay, so this simple function has been created. Add set paragraph has been created. Now if I suppose the set paragraph is called. Okay, now I want to start the game. For starting the game, I'll say that if user has pressed any key, start the game. For that, I'll say that we have an event listener, document dot add event listener. Inside this, I'll say if somebody has the pressed any key, the game will start. Okay, so if somebody has pressed any key, the game will start. And what do we need to say? That user input will be in focus. Okay, user input dot focus. If you see FOCUS. Okay, focus. So yeah, one more thing we have to, I guess, close this one. फोकस हो गया उसके बाद we have targeted, and we also need to say that again, if we have an event listener, but suppose nobody has typed it, nobody has typed anything. For that, I would say that if somebody has clicked also. Okay, if somebody has clicked also, so for that I can say that if somebody has clicked on our paragraph, then again the user input will be in focus. Okay, so if paragraph has been clicked, paragraph dot add event listener, and suppose somebody has clicked, then again we are going to add the focus. Okay, so on both cases, if somebody has pressed any key, the game will start. If somebody has clicked on paragraph, the game will start. That's it. Okay, so after this, we have this simple function set typing. Okay, so for this, we'll go to set typing. Initially, set paragraph is done. Okay, so I'll close this. And now inside set typing, first of all, I would say that whenever I am resetting the game, okay, whenever I am resetting the game, okay, I'll pause everything, I'll stop everything and make everything as zero. Okay, so we'll actually do one thing. We'll say whenever I reset the game, I'll call set paragraph. Okay, set paragraph. That's it. Okay, I'll call set paragraph. So let's check if it's working or not. So for that, I'll say that we'll target reset btn, and if somebody clicks on the reset button, we'll call the reset game function. So if I click on this, you can see that it's resetting the paragraph. Okay, we'll do the same for these values also. So for that, I can say we have set the paragraph, and we will also create an interval. So I'll say clear interval timer. Okay, timer interval right now won't be existing because we haven't created it. So I'll just comment this out. And we also one more, I want one more thing, that the time remaining will be maximum time again 120 seconds. Okay, after this I'll say the character index will be 0, character index will be 0, and the mistakes will again become 0, is typing will again become 0. That means nobody will be typing as the as someone clicks the reset. Okay, so again we want the user input value. If there is any value, it will become blank. Okay, so it won't be having any previous value. Now after this, I'll say the inner text of this total time, inner text of this total time will become 120. So if I reset this, you can see that it's now 120. Okay, so we'll see this. And also for total WPM, it will again become 0. For total mistake, it will again become 0. And for total CPM, it will again become 0. So you can see that it has again taken the values. Okay, so now I haven't actually applied this logic whenever I start the game. It's for reset the game. Whenever I start the game, the time must be 120 seconds. You can see it's not 120 seconds. So we'll see that. Okay, we'll see that. And all right, I can do one more thing. If I set paragraph, I can add another function which simply says uh what's the total? Okay, total total mistake dot inner html will become 0. Initially, total will become 0. All types of total will become 0. Total time dot inner html will become 120. Okay, so instead of 60 seconds, now you'll always see 120 whenever you start the game. Okay, so you can simply remove this. Okay, so if I save this, and if I whenever I load this, you can see you'll get 120 by default because of this value. Because of this value, suppose if I make it 100, you'll see 100, you'll see 100. Okay, so now it's manipulated by a JavaScript, and now we are going to decrease it as soon as we start the game. So right now we haven't started the game, we have just set the paragraph. Now for starting the game, this is very important function, start typing. So first of all, we'll target all the characters present inside the paragraph. MARS space is dash THE dash space FOURTH and so on. Okay, so we are targeting all the alphabets and the spaces as characters. Okay, so I'll say characters, ERS equals pg.query selector all, and you can do one more thing. You can print this console.log characters. Okay, console.log characters, and I hope I haven't given any console.log here. Okay, so let's check what is it doing. So for that, we need to call this function. So how can we call this function? I'll say that whenever user has typed something, this function will be called. Okay, so inside user input, if somebody has given an input, this function will be called, start typing will be called. Okay, so let's inspect it. And in console, let me just type. Suppose if I write something, you can see I have all the span tags. So let me just expand them, and we have a few span tags. And if I open the zeroth one, you can see that yeah, it's active, and you'll get the value somehow. Okay, so you can see that yeah, it's working pretty fine. And let's try to find, you can see that the inner HTML is T for the first one. So that's how you can find this. Okay, that's how you can find the inner HTML. So you got one more idea how why we always use inner text, because the tags come in this order. Tags come in this order. you can call it a JSON format. Okay, JSON format, and then you can target it by typing dot inner text. That's it. Okay, so we'll target the characters by using inner text. We'll target all the characters by inner text. So suppose if I now if I continue with this, I'll say that first of all, the first one is what? T, and I'll compare it with what? Compare it with the user type. So I'll say that whatever the user type will be here. So I'll say let T typed typed character. So this is the first character which the user has typed. Okay, this is the character which user has typed, and I'll say that user input. Okay, dot, and for that I'll say that first of all, split all the characters user has typed. Suppose I am talking about, all right, character at, and I'll say character index. Okay, what I'm talking about is, suppose the user has typed the. Now according to the logic, e must be active one. Okay, e must be active one because we have reached there. Okay, we'll apply the logic of updation of character index there, but you can see that suppose the user has typed the, so the active index is the 012 second index. Okay, so second index of this paragraph will be targeted with what? Targeted with the typed character of user. That's what I have taken. I have said that it is that character which is similar to the active one. That means that if I am on the second index of this paragraph, I'll target the second index of my user input. Okay, suppose the you can see that the second index is e. Okay, e. Okay, suppose if I write the, this is the paragraph, and suppose the user has written yow. Okay, so suppose if I start writing, it will compare t with u. Okay, it will compare h with o. Okay, that's what I am saying. If the active one is e, so it will have u, it will have this u. Okay, that's the logic. So we have targeted the active index, the index relative to the active one. So suppose e is active, the last alphabet is e, so it will target u. Okay, that's the simple thing. Now I would say that since we have this, I'll say if the game must work till when. So this will be logic when character index is less than the total length of characters. Okay, this array will stop when we have reached the last character. That means the last alphabet of the paragraph. Okay, that means we have completed the paragraph. So it will run till then. Okay, so I'll say dot length -1 till last index. Okay, and then I would say the time remaining must also be greater than 0. Okay, time remaining must also be greater than 0, then only our game will work. And the other case is if type character is suppose a null value. Okay, if user has typed a null value, then what to do? In the rest case, we'll do something else. Okay, so now just come up here, and you would say that if user was not typing. Okay, that means the typing value is 0. Now it will become 1. Okay, because the start typing has been called, that means it will become 1. Okay, so I have said that whenever user inputs, the start typing function will be called. You can see the user inputs, the start typing function will be called. Okay, on every input, start typing function will be called. Okay, so now I would say that if the user wasn't if the user is typing for the first time, that means that is typing variable will be 0. Okay, is typing variable will be 0. If the variable is not equal to not true or not equal to, you can say 1. Okay, if it's not true or 1, then this case will run. Okay, not true or 1. So this simply means that if his typing is false or 0, it will run. So just come up here, and then I would say 0 or false case. Okay, 0 or false case. Now I would say that start the timer. Okay, so start the timer. We'll store this in a timer variable, and I have created a timer variable, but I haven't given this. So it will have a timer variable, and this will be actually used to reset it. Okay, you can see that we have created a clear interval. Now I'll just say that clear interval, because now we are going to create an interval. So the interval will be, I'll simply say set interval, and then we'll call a function start timer. Okay, start timer. This function will be created, and it will run till well. Okay, so in every second it will run. Okay, the timer will run in every second. You can see that it will run in every second. Okay, so this will be the interval, and then I can say that if is typing is not true, that make it true. Okay, so you can either make it one or you can make it true. It's up to you. So I'll just make it true. Okay, so that's it. You can also make it false instead of zero. That's up to you. Okay, so you can see that if it wasn't true and the user has started typing, then make it true. And I said that start this interval. Okay, start this interval. So we'll see that now. Come to another case. So in other case, you can see that we have the other case in which the user has typed null. Okay, so I would say that if the index which we are working on is greater than zero, okay, if it's greater than zero, then I would say then I would say don't jump towards the next index. Okay, if the type character is null, then don't jump towards the next index. So I would say that character index will call minus minus. Okay, and don't jump towards the next index if you have jumped. And I can also say that if characters char index dot class contains incorrect. Now we'll add an incorrect class, but right now you can say that if it contains any incorrect class, so for that you can say incorrect class. Okay, if it contains any incorrect class, then make the mistakes also as one before. Okay, so don't count the null character in any case. That's what I have said that if it has counted, if it has encountered a null character typed by user, just go back one character and just remove one mistake. Okay, because this will be counted as mistake first, then I have decremented it. Okay, so it will decrease the mistake by one. And then I would say that char uh, we'll remove both the classes. Okay, we'll remove both the classes for that case. Okay, it's correct and incorrect. We'll remove both the classes for that correct and incorrect. Okay, it's not even correct, not even incorrect in the characters. Okay, user hasn't typed anything, so I won't consider it as correct or not correct. Okay, so this will be for null case. And then I would say that if it's the other case, then I would say that if user has typed something and it matches with the current index, so for that I would say that if current index characters char index, that means the correct index, first index we are talking about, the zeroth index I am talking about, dot inner text. Okay, that means t right now. Okay, matches with typed character, the character which user has typed. Okay, if t matches with the user's first character, that means t, or you can see right now it's Jupiter, so j matches with user's first character, then this case will run. Okay, then you can say that user has typed characters, and inside this I will say add the class character index as correct. Okay, user has typed correct index, so I'll say equals correct. Okay, and in the else case, and you can do one more thing. uh you can do one more thing. You can do the same for incorrect case. Okay, so if it's not equal to the type character, then this will be the incorrect case. So I would say that this will be the incorrect case if the user's input value is not equal to the current index. Okay, the last value of user input is not equal to the current index, then I would say that it must have the incorrect value. Okay, we'll say that it will have an incorrect class name, and we'll give a CSS for that. I mean that we'll make the correct as green and incorrect as red. That's the example. And we'll also increase the mistakes. Okay, so user has typed an incorrect value which doesn't matches with our active index. So for that I would say that it will be the incorrect and correct. Okay, guys. Okay, so now you can see that we have incremented the mistakes. So this was the basic part, and now I would say that yeah, we have the correct and we have the incorrect. Okay, and we also need to increment the index, active index. Okay, suppose user has typed y instead of t, the incremented index must be there. Okay, and this will be marked as correct and incorrect. So we'll see that and we'll check the logic afterwards. And now after this, I would say that make, currently you can see that the first index is active. Okay, if it's in the second index, because of this the line will be on h. Okay, line will be on h, that means the h is active. So I'll make all the previous one as inactive. Okay, for all the previous one will become inactive. So for that I'll say characters dot for each. Okay, for each, and I'll say all characters will won't be having the active. Okay, won't be having the active class. Okay, so I'll say that all the characters won't be having the active class, and I'll say that the current character will have the active class. That's it. I have removed all of them, and then I'll say that the current class will have the active class. That's it. So I'll say that all the classes, all the spans inside this paragraph which had active class will be removed, and only the current index, the current char index, whatever it is. Suppose the s is the index, it will have the underline. Okay, that's what I have said. Now after this, you can say that we need to calculate the formula for WPM. So WPM has a very simple formula, but WPM is words per minute, is calculated by dividing the number of characters typed correctly. Okay, that means character index minus mistakes, correct, and divided by average number of characters per word. So we'll choose it as 5. Okay, that's the logic, and this is the standard average which everybody chooses, and we'll divide it by the result of time taken by to type those words. That means the maximum time and time remaining. Okay, we have taken that amount of time. All right, so we'll also multiply it by 60 to convert it into minutes. So for that, you can simply say, uh, I'll just copy the definition also. Okay, so you can actually read this definition, it says the same. So for that I'll say let wpm, and I hope I have written it inside what. Guys, one more thing. You can see that. One more thing, guys. Actually, I did a mistake. I wanted this to be inside. Okay, you can see that this else case must be inside. Must be inside. Okay, so now this will work. I actually did a mistake. The else case must be inside this. Okay, so now it will work. Okay, so actually it won't be running if I haven't started the game. Okay, so now it will work, and now you can see that we have the else case. Inside the else case, I have said that, yeah, now I'll add the words per minute formula. So the words per minute formula is what? Equals math dot round. Okay, math dot round. Inside this, I'll say that first of all I want the character index minus mistakes. Okay, minus mistakes, that's what the formula says. And then I'll divide it by 5. I'll divide it by 5. Okay, so first of all close this part. Okay, so I'll divide it by 5, and then I'll say that also divided by maximum time minus remaining time minus time remaining. Okay, and we'll also multiply it by 60. So first of all make the brackets and then multiply it by 60. Okay, that's what the formula says for WPM. All right, so yeah, I'll say that if WPM is suppose less than 0. Okay, if it's less than 0, or WPM's value is suppose some invalid value. Okay, or suppose it reaches somehow infinity, then make it 0, or show the normal value which it has, suppose 5 6 7 or any value. But for these cases, if it's less than 0 or a null value or an infinite value, then it will have 0 value, it will choose 0. Okay, else it will show the normal value which is for the count. Okay, so we have the WPM formula, and then I'll say that total WPM inner text will be the current WPM. Okay, and same for the CPM and the mistakes. So I'll say total mistake dot inner text will be mistakes, and we have incremented the mistakes here. You can see that we have incremented the mistakes. And similarly, I would say total CPM equals character index minus mistakes. Okay, that's the characters per minute logic. Okay, so you can see that we have completed this. We have completed this, and I guess I did one more mistake. Okay, I did one more mistake. Just cut this part. Okay, this is quite confusing for if else cases. I know this, but what else can we do? Okay, so now you can see that we have simply made this outside this else case. So you can see that we have this if branch. Okay, if branch, and they are outside this. They will be updated every time. They will be updated every time, and these three were the separate conditions. Okay, so now after this you can see that we have this. And if the game is not running, if the game is not running, then I would say clear interval type, and make the is typing as false. Okay, so now I'll start the timer. I'll start the timer. So for that, I'll say if time remaining is greater than 0, then only run this game, obviously. And first of all, make the time remaining as minus, because for every second you have to decrement by 1. Okay, so time remaining minus minus. Then I'll say total time remaining, total time dot inner html equals time remaining. Okay, 59, 58, 57, that's all. Okay, and then I'll say let wpm. Again, I'll say update the wpm again. Okay, I'll update the wpm again. And yeah, I'll just make it. Have I did a mistake? You can see that I did a simple mistake here in the formula. So for that, you can actually add a few brackets. These two brackets will be added, and now I guess it's fine. Okay, so it actually removes the confusion. Okay, you can see that first I have divided this by 5. First I have divided this by 5, and we have divided by max time and time remaining, and we have multiplied it by this 60 whole by 60. Okay, so now we can continue, and you can see that we have done the same. So for that, I'll just say make this as brackets. Okay, so guys, if you have any doubts, you can definitely ask me, and feel free to ask me. But I guess today the network is quite slow because I'm not able to see the live chats very properly. So yeah, I'll say dot inner html will be wpm. Okay, so the total wpm will be updated, and you can also update the cpm and so on. Okay, so that's it for this one, and I guess the cpm will work from this side only. Okay, so after this I will say else clear interval. Okay, in the else case, I'll say clear interval. All right, set typing as false and clear interval. That's it. And then in the reset game, I have called the set paragraph, and time remaining is called as max time. Okay, that means 120 seconds. And then you can see everything is normal, and you can see that I have called the interval, cleared the interval. Okay, so we can see that yeah, the basic is done. The basic is done, and the code is complete. Let's see that if it's working or not. So if I type t, I'm getting an error. Math dot round is not a function. Okay, I have done a mistake. 303 math dot uh round. Okay, math dot round. I guess now it must work. Suppose if I write mars. Okay, so now you can see that the cursor, the active is moving. The active is moving, but we need to add the classes. Okay, we need to add the classes, correct or incorrect. So for that, I'll add the classes. So I'll come up here, and then I would say that we have three classes. Suppose the active class was done. We have the correct class. So I'll say that hashtag p. Okay, inside p, we have the dot t. We have the span. We have the span. Okay, hashtag pg. We have the spans, and if the span is correct, then I'll make it as suppose green, color as green. Okay, and if it's not correct, so it will obviously have incorrect class, incorrect dot incorrect. Okay, so it will have color red. Okay, so now let's see that if it's working. So if I have typed r, it's not taking. Hmm. Okay, we can do one more thing. Let's first shift the JavaScript part in the next page, and let's see that what mistake I have done first. Okay, let me just see that what have I done, and then we can see that you can see that I have declared the variables correctly. I guess, yeah, we have declared variables correctly, and then you can see we have the set paragraph function which sets the paragraph. It's working fine. Inside start typing, you can see the start typing is called, and I'll say that let character equals this. Okay, character have been called, and I'll remove this, and you can see that you have the typed character by user. You have the typed character by user, and I'll say that instead of this, I'll say split. Okay, I'll say split them. All the characters typed by user one by one. Make an array out of it, and I'll target the character index of that. Okay, like the correct character. So I would say if I type NAR, you aren't getting anything, but you are getting the WPM. Okay, so everything is working except this. Okay, so let's see that what's remaining here. We have the CSS part, and side B we have the span tags. Okay, hashtag PG, and we have all the span tags dot correct dot incorrect. Okay, we have given this, then why it has this error? Okay, now let's see that what's remaining here. Okay, so you can see that we have this if condition, and then we have this else condition. So now if this if condition is working, you can see that if character index is less than the last one, or and the timing is greater than 0, time remaining is greater than 0, then only this condition will run, else the interval will be cleared and its typing will become false. Now inside this we have a few conditions. So the first is this: if its typing is previously not true, then now it will become true. Okay, so now it will become true. That's the first condition which we applied. The timing will become true and the timer will start. That's what it's working. Okay, and now I would say the second condition was if type character equals null. If type character is equals null, then I have done one thing, that if character index. Okay, I'll say that you have to add one more thing. First of all, you'll add class list dot contains incorrect. Then the mistakes will be removed. Else, and also the characters again, that index will be targeted, and we have removed ठीक है, we have removed class list dot remove incorrect and correct. Okay, so now in the third case you can see that we have added this, but I don't think this is working. I guess this case might be causing the problem. Dot inner text equals typed character, and then I would say character index dot class list dot add correct. Okay, here you can see that we have the characters as character index and class list dot add incorrect. Okay, I guess this is also fine. What's the issue with this? It's actually not showing the error. Okay, suppose if I make a mistake, suppose if I type you can see the mistakes is 1. Suppose if I type G, you can see the mistakes is 2. That means I'm just not only I'm seeing the meter correctly. I'm seeing the meter correctly. Suppose if I again make it 0, and if I type T. Okay, so now let's see what's happening, and we have taken this out of this container. Okay, so we have this. First of all, if if it matches with the typed character, then make what? Okay, I actually did one mistake. I guess this is the only mistake which I did. I can say that it must be inside brackets. Okay, this must be inside brackets. I guess this will cover up everything. So this must be inside brackets. Okay, so now let's see that if it's working or not. JUP. You can see that if I have typed JUP, it's working, and if I remove this, you can see the mistakes are gone. If I have typed, suppose if I have typed T, you can see I got it by right. Now it's working fine. This was the simple mistake which I have done. You can see that if the text matches, then it will become green. Suppose if I type U, you can see it is green. If I typed T instead of this, you can see that it's red. That means it's correct and it's incorrect, and we have two mistakes. So you can see that I have this working fine. You can see that it's working fine. If I remove this, you can see it's working fine. Okay, and if I suppose if I have typed something, okay, if I have typed something, not even a single prediction correct. Okay, one correct. And if I reset this, you can see that it's been reset. Okay, so now you can see that the project is working pretty fine. And we have also checked this again because of this simple error. You can see that I told you this procedure again, but if you still have any doubts, you can definitely ask me with this. And I also can see that the time is also about to be over. So all right. So the project is completed, and I hope you understood the logic. If you didn't understand, you can definitely ask me. Let me just wait for a while, and I'll just upload the source code also. And for that, I'll first of all copy this, and then I'll open GitHub terminal, git add git commit dash m day 2 git push. Okay, what's the mistake? Is it for this? Let's see that will it work for this or not. Git push, git add, git commit, git push. Okay, now it will be uploaded. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong project. Now you can see that the source code is uploaded. So let's see that if it's working or not. The source code is available. You can see that if I refresh this, you can see that I have updated the source code. Okay, so the source code is updated, and yeah, you can access it. Access it. I'll just show you how can you access this. So you can simply type github.com/virajj014 in your in your browser. In the repositories, you will find js underscore typing speed game. If you don't find this, you can type the same name here. You'll find this. Okay, js underscore typing speed. So also you can star this. You can star this for later so that you can save this. Okay, and you can simply see this in your start section. Okay, so that's it, and you can use this source code anywhere you like, and you can also use this in your different logics wherever you like. Okay, it can be used in you can say an AI based correction maker, any logic. Okay, this logic will work for that also. So you can implement AI also. So that's the simple project which we created, and you can consider is a little bit above basic because the logic is very difficult. And I also can say, yeah, it's difficult for beginners, but definitely if you try to understand it for 4 or 5 times, you'll get the logic. Okay, so this is a very great project, and it will definitely help you in your JavaScript career a lot. So I don't think you have any doubts right now. Okay, so one more thing. Before ending the session, you'll find a link in description for full stack bootcamp, free full stack bootcamp course. So this is the course. This is the course. You'll find a link for that in the description and also in the live chat. Just enroll for this course. This is a free course. Okay, you will find a meeting. Okay, this is a Zoom based meeting tomorrow. That means 4th February 8 p.m. onwards. You'll find a meeting schedule for this, and you just have to enroll for this course. And in this button you'll see the joining link at that time. Okay, that means tomorrow you'll see the link, or you'll also be notified via your mails. You can check out this project. This is a very great project, text to speech converter using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Part 1 will be on 4th Feb, and part 2 will be, I guess, on 5th Feb or anytime soon. Okay, so this will be the link will be available here. And if you aren't able to watch these live sessions, Zoom meetings, somehow you can watch the recordings also. The recordings are also available here. Also, if you want more advanced courses, you can check out the courses related to that. You'll find the all courses related to web development, advanced courses which are required. Okay, so you can check these. They are very great courses. Okay, so I hope you understood the logic of today's video. This is a very difficult project, I can say very easily. Okay, so you try to understand this for 4 or 5 times and you'll definitely get the logic. And I told you how can you access the source code. So if you want to contact me, you can comment of in any of my videos or in the live chat, or you can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Instagram at the rate Harshal_3011 is my username. Okay, So I hope you understood today's project, and we'll see you in the next one on the Zoom meeting, full stack development bootcamp course. Link is in the description. Just enroll for this free course hai, and definitely we'll see you there. Okay. So till then, see you. Have a good day. Bye bye. 4th February, that is tomorrow. Text to speech converter.